Good morning, viewers. Welcome to DQ DeepTech. Drinking water. It is a term that sounds so simple, but is one of the most essential entities that every living being requires to survive. What we often do not realize is that drinking water is not just limited to administering taps in every household and involves so much more. The painstaking process involves constant monitoring of the quality and quantity of water being supplied. Apart from that, there is a huge usage of deep technologies to ensure transparency and efficiency in the system. Keeping all these things in mind, the government of India envisioned and executed the Jal Jeevan mission on 15th August 2019. Today, it's an absolute honor to have with us Mr. Bharat Lal, Additional Secretary and Mission Director of Jal Jeevan Mission. Mr. Lal has been entrusted with the onerous responsibility of ensuring drinking water supply to nearly 19 crore 20 lakh households in India. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's an absolute honor to have you here with us.
Good afternoon, Supriya, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to be here and talking to you people. So once again, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here today. So what is your vision when it comes to using deep technologies in water management?
Well, Supriya, you have seen, as you have rightly said, that in a country like ours, with 1.37 billion or 137 crore people, I think ensuring quality services is basically the focus of the government. And present government since 2014 has been continuously working to improve the quality of life and enhance ease of living of people especially living in rural areas. Because I think we have to accept that there are gaps in services when it comes to rural and urban India. So you have seen that n number of services, whether it's a housing or let's say toilet or electricity or cooking gas or so those things are going on. And since 2019, Jal Jeevan Mission, the Prime Minister announced Jal Jeevan Mission to be implemented in 5 years, essentially to ensure clean tap water supply to every rural household. And there are roughly, as you said, 192 million or 19.22 crore households are there in the rural India. Secondarily, it has also been envisaged that every school, every Anganwadi center, every, let's say, tribal residential school, community center, health center, wellness centers, in these places also we have to have clean tap water supply for drinking and cooking. More importantly, in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, we want to have, let's say, hand washing facility in every school and every Anganwadi center and residential hostel. Similarly, pipe water in toilets. Similarly, grey water, collection of grey water and treatment and reuse. And lastly, rainwater harvesting. So idea is that our citizen becomes, and future citizen, these children become, water, sanitation and hygiene enlightened in citizen. Coming back to Jal Jeevan Mission, it's a $51 billion, 3.60 lakh crore rupees project to implement it in 5 years. And when we started this project in 2019, out of 19.2 crore household, only 3.23 crore household were having provision of tap water supply. So imagine the scale. Only 17% household had tap water supply, and we have to cover another 16 crore in 5 years. So every year, more than 3 crore household have to be provided tap water connection. That is the scale. And with this scale, I think we need a different kind of a speed. When you want to work with this speed and ensure that kind of system, so starting from planning itself, planning, execution, monitoring, and then service delivery monitoring, grievance redressal, I think there is no choice actually, except to use deep technologies so that it brings efficiency, it brings a speed, and we are able to work at that kind of a scale. So Jal Jeevan Mission is basically since day one, because you understand that we have data about 19.2 crore household. We understand their requirement, their need. It means analysis has to be done that what exists and what doesn't exist. Similarly, what kind of water availability is there in those areas. So it means you use data, you use big data, You use data analytics, you use predictive data analytics, you use artificial intelligence and go for it. Second thing is that when it comes to monitoring and execution and monitoring of the schemes and projects, again here, because when your work is going, at the moment, like you see, out of 6 lakh villages, 6 lakh, precisely 6 lakh 5,000 villages, work has been completed in 1 lakh 27,000 villages. And work is going on in roughly 1 lakh 87,000 villages. And in another 1 lakh 40,000 villages, work is getting started in next couple of months. So when work is going on this scale, please understand whether it's a finance management or material management or execution or completion or commissioning. Well, I think deep technologies are of immense use. And third part is the basic resource, means water. Availability of whether it's a groundwater or surface water, we have to bring from long distance, or it has its quality problem. So it means that deep technologies are going to help us in treatment also. And lastly, when people are going to have this kind of supply, it means, as in rural area, we understand that roughly 70% of the water which is supplied, it comes out as a gray water. It requires very minimal treatment, and you can reuse it for secondary and tertiary use, like in construction, industry, agriculture, horticulture, agroforestry, and so on. So collecting this water, treating it, and reusing it. Again, here technology is required. So Jal Jeevan mission, as you know, that it is heavily dependent on technology, whether it's a planning or it's a execution or it's a monitoring or finance management or service delivery and grievance redressal. And we are using it, and that's why we could pick up this kind of a speed that in 2 years, more than 5.5 crore household have been provided tap water connection. So far as the Jal Jeevan mission is concerned, I think we are having a vision where basically in a modern India, in a new India, these deep technologies will help us not only in execution, but operation and maintenance management. And that is the way we are going on.
Thank you so much, sir, for outlining it so beautifully for us. Like you mentioned, Jal Jeevan mission is a very technology-heavy, process. So when it comes to deep technologies, individuals need to be skilled. So how are you sort of skilling individuals to undertake this sort of a mission?
See, there are 2-3 aspects of use of these technologies. And let's say that we have developed a beautiful system where basically data of each village is captured. And this data is that who are the people, families, including their name verified by Aadhaar number. So first thing is what kind of resources are there, what kind of infrastructure is there in the village. All this data is collected. What kind of family size is there? So on that basis, we forecast demand, and then schemes, whatever infrastructure is already available, that is dovetailed, and depending on the water availability, we plan a scheme, and then schemes are executed. So first and foremost is that huge data analytics is used in basically planning itself. When you are going for implementation, imagine tendering process, managing finances, making payments, So again, when it comes to administration and governance, the second part is that this is the same data analytics, because you are able to forecast where and when, what kind of money, how much money is going to be used, Thirdly, when it comes to implementation, again, implementation is also monitored using technology, so that each village, because see, kindly appreciate that it sounds very simple that so many households have been given tap water connection, but if you go into detail, it means starting from planning, designing, estimate preparation, approval, tendering process, work order, execution, then commissioning of a scheme, and then giving connection. So it means it is an end product. So all these stages have to be monitored, and wherever is required, intervention has to be made to, if suppose things are not going on right track. So in all these things, data is used, and secondarily, we try to use this data from village level. The data is coming from village level, actually, for every village, Second, when it comes to service delivery, We have also started sensor-based IoT devices. We are trying to develop that in the country. We launched one challenge where basically new companies, startups, they were encouraged to develop local, indigenous sensors, and those sensors have been standardized. This challenge was launched in partnership with METI, and at 10 locations, roughly more than 100 villages, that pilot is going on, and it is a very successful pilot where the data is coming on our Jal Jeevan dashboard. I'll request audience to have a look. Just type on your mobile JJM, Jal Jeevan Mission Dashboard, and you will see that sensor-based IoT devices, their data is coming there. So in this, our vision is that in next 5 years, not 5 years, let's say 4 years, every village data is captured, those sensor-based IoT devices. And based on that, we should be able to monitor our supply level. We should be able to take corrective steps. We should also be having predictions, not only this much. In groundwater-based system, we are also monitoring. Basically, we have developed sensors that groundwater table should also be monitored. Similarly, different water quality aspect, let's say arsenic, fluoride, sulfate, magnesium, different kind of or heavy metals, basically whatever contaminants are there. So those sensors are being developed and they are deployed so they can, they can be done. Lastly, we have got 605,000 villages. In a country like ours, each village, if take a size of, let's say 2,000 people. So end of the day, each village becomes a kind of local public utility that they are supplying water to those 500-600 families, quantity, quality, regularity, with adequate pressure, collecting water service charges, managing finances, managing inventory, treatment of water, testing of water. So all this have to be managed by these. So we are trying to develop that these village, whether it's a Gram Panchayat or its subcommittee, which is basically Village Water and Sanitation Committee, it start working like a public utility, and we have to provide those system and tools put at their disposal so they are able to manage it. So under Jal Jeevan Mission, this is the approach that each village becomes a kind of water utility. Similarly, every state, I think in urban area, we all have seen that there are municipal bodies and they work like water utilities, they supply. But in rural areas, so far it has been government departments who have been managing water supply. But under Jal Jeevan Mission, the focus is on decentralization, focus is on local self-government. So the village panchayat or Pani Samiti or village water sanitation committee has to be empowered, strengthened, and they have to be provided these deep technologies so they are able to manage water supply efficiently to every family, every household, because we are putting a system. So kindly see, earlier there used to be their local sources. Let's say 50 years back, they had rivers, they had, wells, and, today, when you are putting this kind of system, it means service delivery efficiency is very critical. So we are working with the village panchayat and state government, and state government also, their department, they should also start working as a facilitator, as a true public utility. The focus is on service delivery. And in the whole process, we are using all these deep technologies in a big way, whether it's a treatment or it's a sensor or it's a ICT or it's a finance or management. So that is the approach.
That's so good to know, sir. Thank you so much. So the skilling initiatives are also going on for all these people side by side, is my understanding. So what are the sort of skilling initiatives that are going on, sir, for deep technologies?
Let's first understand the sector, actually, what is happening. In the whole country, I think we have roughly 7,000 engineers in different public health engineering department or water supply departments, and they are working on the ground. They come with a background of civil engineering, mostly some mechanical engineering, some electrical engineering. They have done their engineering, whether graduation or post-graduation. In civil engineering primarily, or hydrology, and those subjects, they join public health engineering department, and they start project management, project execution, and then service delivery. So what we are trying to do is that their capacity, their reorientation, the training, it has been given top priority. So first thing, while envisaging Jal Jeevan Mission, 5% fund imagine 3,60,000 crore rupees, 5% fund has been kept aside for these kind of support activities. And B, for water quality monitoring and surveillance, 2% of the total fund, it has been kept aside. So 7% of 3,60,000 crore rupees, roughly 25,000 crore rupees is earmarked for these 5 years to utilize in capacity building, training, reorientation, use of deep technologies, monitoring, all these activities. Now, what we have done in the country, we have entered into a kind of partnership with reputed institutions, whether it's a UN organization like UNICEF, UNOPS, WHO, all those organizations are major trust foundation NGOs. So these organizations, their knowledge, there's a convergence, and these knowledge are being imparted, transferred towards achieving a common goal. B, we have identified and again we have entered into a partnership with 104 reputed training institutions. It could be administrative, it could be technological, it could be, we call them key resource center. So 104 these key resource centers spread throughout the country have been engaged, and they are imparting, they have developed curriculum, they have developed modules, and they are imparting online as well as offline training program to various level of engineers. B. And C, out of these 104 key resource center, we have identified certain institutions who will be imparting, they have already started training to village panchayat people or village water and sanitation committee people into modern technology, into modern management, into modern governance. So this is one part of that. Secondarily, we have identified 5 institutions in the country, and there we are setting up professor chairs. So 3 engineering colleges, IIT Guwahati, IIT Kanpur, and IIT Jodhpur. In IIT Guwahati, it is basically water treatment technology, wastewater treatment technology. So it is basically technology part, it is in IIT Guwahati. One professor chair means professor chair along with him or her 7 persons as well as all facilities, so that they can take up research, training, capacity building, those kind of these things. Second professor chair, IIT Kanpur, it is basically into data analytics and data science. So the second professor chair is being set up at Kanpur, IIT Kanpur. Third professor chair is being set up at IIT Jodhpur. It is about sustainability of drinking water sources, because in Western India, we have water, paucity of water. So focus is on sustainability of drinking water sources, so that whatever system you are setting up for next 30, 40 years, it doesn't become defunct. Then we have also identified 2 more institutions, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, TIS Mumbai. With TIS Mumbai, basically we are focusing on governance, devolution, decentralization, and so that village panchayat or rural local bodies are able to operate, maintain, and manage system. And lastly, IIM Bangalore, we are setting up a professor chair, basically, which will be working on development of water utilities in India. So these 5 professor chair we have set in. The second level is that we are into process of finalizing 2 centers of excellence. One at IIT Madras in Chennai. It is basically again on modern technology, sensor, and IoT and cloud and all those kind of things. So this IIT Madras is one center of excellence. Basically, you can say it's at one center of excellence in public health engineering, water and sanitation. And second center of excellence we are setting up at IIT Gandhinagar. It is about systems, water supply system, how to operate, maintain, and manage system. And over and above, at Kolkata, we are setting up a institute, basically, which is a kind of apex institution in water and sanitation, public health engineering. It is just like IIT. So this institute will be taking 5 activities. It's education, research, training, advice, and outreach. So this kind of architecture has been built. These institutions have been set up, and they have also started working. And idea is that in 5 years, you should be able to develop true utility managers, true public health engineers, so that whatever investment is going to be made in the sector and being made in the sector in such a big way, huge investment, it should basically fructify in citizens having quality services, assured services. And there should not be any need of having your, let's say, domestic water filter or storage or this thing. You should have 24/7 supply in villages. There is no need for any kind of filter. Clean tap water. People should get it. And for that, we are preparing human resources also.
Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations. I mean, I actually saw that you are supplying water to remote villages of Ladakh, and IoT is being applied even there. That's really, great to know. Sir, are there any final comments that you would like to add for our viewers?
Well, my friends, Jal Jeevan Mission is your program. It affects your life, your family life, your child's life, your parents' life. So my request is this thing: kindly, every day, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, devote on this subject. Minimum you can do, look at the dashboard, give us suggestion, give us ideas, because Prime Minister has been saying this thing that water should become everybody's business. Kindly appreciate that in this country, world's 16% population is here, but less than 4% water resources. So we are a water is, you can't say that every part of the country is having plenty of water. So it means each and every of us has to play our role in basically making water everyone's business. This is the first part. Second, Jal Jeevan Mission is basically, its philosophy is building partnership, whether individual or organization, working together. And lastly, changing lives. I invite you to join Jal Jeevan Mission. Whatever way you can join, you can contribute, so that we are in position to make people's life much better. That is my message, and that is my appeal to all of you, that Jal Jeevan Mission not only provides opportunity, but it is an occasion and opportunity for each and every individual of this country to be part of this mission. This is your mission for your family, for your children. Because whatever assets are being created, system is going to last for next 30 to 40 years. Once in a generation kind of investment is taking place. And it is our everybody's duty that we should try to contribute our might in the whole thing, so that the vision of clean tap water to every family in adequate quantity on regular basis of prescribed quality with adequate pressure and long term, means next 30, 40 years, so that paucity of water should not become a limiting factor in our socio-economic development and quest for high economic growth. If we have to improve the quality of life, it means the first step is that there should not be any shortage of water to any part of the country, to any family, in any village, in any mohalla. And I think we all should collectively contribute in making this reality. So once again, thank you very much, Supriya, for having me here. And thank you all very much for giving me this patient hearing. I hope that this little information is of some use to all of you. And I'm sure you will avail this opportunity to contribute your might in Jal Jeevan Mission. Thank you.